All right. Good evening. We'd like to welcome you to the Elmore County Commission work session dated Monday, March 26, 2018. I'd like to call the meeting to order. We'll begin with regular business. We'll proceed with a review of the minutes of the March 12, 2018 Commission meeting with any corrections. Any comments or corrections from commissioners? All right, we'll proceed with the review of the memorandum of warrants for the period of March 7, 2018 through March 16, 2018. Mr. Byer.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, the memorandum warrants for the period stated is $981,561.55.
Thank you. All right, we'll proceed with public hearings. We have two this evening. 011 Lounge Retail Liquor Class 2 Package Liquor License Application by Convenience Acquisitions, Inc. for Kent Liquors, 3400 Kent Road, Tallahassee, Alabama, 36078. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to address that, either for or against? Any comments or questions from commissioners? All right, we'll proceed with public hearing 050 Retail Beer Off-Premises Only and a 070 Retail Table Wine Off-Premises Only Liquor License Transfer Application from ADN 1 Inc. to SAI Path Inc. for Titus Gas and Groceries, 17047 U.S. Highway 231, Titus, Alabama 36080. Any here to address that? All right, any comments or questions from commissioners?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
That's in my district, up close to my home, and the only thing I would say is there's not ever been a problem since they had that license, and they've had it for at least two previous owners that I'm aware of. So it's been there for quite a while, and I don't see any reason not to do it.
All right, thank you. Anything else? All right, we'll proceed with new business. We'd like to invite Probate Judge John E. Enslin to come to the podium to address us regarding an anticipated Siscon preservation project. Judge Enslin.
Thank you. Good evening. We have what's called a discretionary account 722, and it is restricted to archival purposes. It's a discretionary account that belongs to the probate office, but the way it's a local act, it's based on $3 per recorded instrument. It makes about $4,300 a month on the average. The way the local act is written, you have to approve whatever archival or project that the probate judge wants to use the funds for, and that's the purpose I'm here tonight. You approved a project in last July. You might remember the aperture cards that I showed you. I want to report to you that project is complete. Siscon did a great job. All of the aperture cards are now digitized. This next project that we propose for you to approve is a praiseworthy project. It's much larger. The cost of it is up to $51,000. We have the money in the discretionary account. There's $67,000 in it now, and it's making $4,300 a month being added to it. And Siscon is available to do this project, and that's not always true because they service many counties in the state, and it's hard to, once you lose them, it's hard to get them back because somebody else, other counties will be doing projects too, but we have them right now. There are 36 categories of records. I won't bore you with all of those, but I thought I picked out 5 of the 36 that I thought might be of interest to you. One is to digitize the original federal government survey of Elmore County. This would be the survey notes that were made when they came down here and the United States first acquired this property. Surveyors still reference these notes from time to time as they do surveys now. This is when they originally set the section corners throughout Elmore County. Another thing we want to digitize is all county newspapers between 1968 and 1976. Then we want to digitize the commissioner court records going back to 1908. A little bit of history here. The county commission used to sit as a court in equity, and you would hear cases. And we have those records, and we're going to put those, we would like to digitize those records. All of these are on deteriorating paper, by the way. I mean, it's paper that will crumble if you handle much. It's faded, turning yellow. We want to digitize the election returns going back to 1892. And then the county treasurer reports, which shows payments from the general fund going back to 1873. And so I need your approval for this $51,000 archival project to be used from funds that can't be used for anything but archival projects. I'd be glad to answer any questions that you have. Thank you very much.
I got one comment real quick. Can you tell us about what kind of feedback you get from the public with the digitization of some of these documents that you've had, not only this coming up, but previous documents?
Yeah, well, it would bore you. Occasionally, I will send y'all an email. I sent you one today from somebody who, I don't know whether you've read it yet, who had a good experience at the tag department. I could start sending you the emails of people who are thankful that they can go online and get these very records that we're talking about now. These will be over the internet for people to research anywhere in the world. So the feedback is only positive. We haven't had any kind of negative feedback from placing these records. There will be some birth records also put in this particular collection.
Thank you.
One comment, Judge Enslin, you already alluded to it, that the note from the lady today about her good experience with the tag department. Mm-hmm. That's not an exception. We hear that all the time, and I know we see it in writing, and we hear it from people. I just heard a couple of days ago from a lady up at the lake said it was very refreshing to go to a probate office and the people just act like they are happy to take care of you. So I want to compliment you and your staff.
Well, I don't really deserve any of that compliment. We are blessed with wonderful employees, many who were hired before I came here, and I think Lori White, who is the supervisor of that department, does a tremendous job, and she is a great asset to the county. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we'd like to invite Joshua P. Hayes, Prince Glover, and Hayes, PC, to come and address the Commission regarding opioid litigation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the Commission. I really appreciate and I'm honored by the chance to address you tonight on this very important matter. I understand from talking with Mr. Courtney that you guys have recently learned a whole lot about this, so I'm not going to waste what limited time I have before you talking about things you already know. But I do want to talk a little bit about the numbers. Alabama is in the middle of a crisis, and it's a crisis that we don't all yet know about, and unfortunately it's one of those things that is going to get worse before it ever gets better. So let me talk about some of those numbers very briefly. I do want to save time for my colleague, Deandra DeBross, to be able to present also, because she's been at the forefront of this litigation from the beginning. But what we have seen over the past 15 years is that the number of prescription opioids has quadrupled over the last 15 years. And that is unbelievable when you consider that the amount of pain or disability that Americans experience over that same period is virtually unchanged. Okay, so what's the difference? The difference is we have these large multinational corporations in the form of manufacturers who have fooled the public, have fooled local doctors, to some degree have fooled pharmacies into passing out these pills like candy. You've seen it in your community, I'm sure, if you've talked to any law enforcement about this issue. Just the stories are terrible, and you know, pictures are a lot better than numbers sometimes. I don't know if you can see that very well, but that's a lady and a husband passed out in the front seat of their car with a baby strapped in the car seat in the back. That's just one photograph of many, many that we could show you But that's happening right here in your community. Alabama is in the middle of this. It is ravaging our state, and I'm very proud to be part of a team that's going to do something about it. So we have filed suit on behalf of numerous cities and counties against these manufacturers, but also against the distributors of these opioids who basically had one job. That one job of companies like Cardinal Health and AmerisourceBergen was to flag suspicious orders. That's the only job they had. And instead of flagging suspicious orders, they turned their head. All the while, they raked in unbelievable amounts of profits. Just the big three alone, $500 billion in revenues last year. $500 billion. As I mentioned to you, we're proud to be part of a team that is representing cities and counties, but I do think it's important that I let you know that my firm is very honored to have been selected by the Attorney General as one of two firms who are representing the state in this opioid battle. I got back from Chicago last week on some settlement discussions. We're right in the middle. We're right at the table. I understand you're going to be hearing from another firm later this month. I don't have anything at all bad to say about that firm from Montgomery. Fine folks, friends of mine. We happen to be partners at the state level, representing the state. But when it comes to counties, I feel like that the team we have assembled that includes Deandra's firm, and I'll ask you to come on up, Deandra. I think that consortium of firms with all the talent we have assembled is in the best place to represent Elmore County and to do it well. So again, I'm respectful of your time, Mr. Chairman, and what Jeff had told me about the time limits. So I do want to leave time for my friend Deandra to speak. Thank you.
Thank you, Josh. Good evening, Commissioners. Good evening, everyone. I'll try to be quick, but I'd like to cover some items. At the end of this, I will give you a booklet that gives you an overview of all the firms. And I want to explain something a little unusual. You will see over 10 firms in this consortium. And for lawyers, everyone loves to tell lawyers jokes. They say we love money, but we didn't care about the split. When my firm first got involved in this, it was very personal. It was a lawyer we knew who had lost his daughter to an overdose, and she began on prescription painkillers. That's where this starts. And we pulled some of the biggest plaintiff firms in this state, Greg Cusimano, Lynn Jinks, and others who've tried cases for 40, 50 years. And then we went to the national guys, Levin Papantonio in Pensacola, Florida, Baron Budd in Texas, and the lawyer that began this out of Huntington, West Virginia. This started in Huntington. And the issue is so bad that they have a murder rate that made the National Guard come to their town. And we did that because we understand, and I've fought many big corporations, I've been in many multi-district actions, that this is the fight for our life. These people have money, and they can outspend us if we don't know how to stand together. And so I wanted to explain, first of all, why there are all these firms. And after we made that deal, Josh Hayes, who is a friend of our firm's, we call Josh, who's a well-known trial attorney in the state of Alabama, obviously great attorney selected by the Attorney General, and we said, you know us, would you work with us? And he said, most definitely. And that's how we're here today. We represent over 20 counties and cities in the state of Alabama, including Mobile County, Mobile City, Tuscaloosa County, Tallapoosa County, and quite a few others. We also represent another 20 in the state of Mississippi. And I want to talk about one brief issue. Why did we file in federal court instead of state court? Some of us have been to the rodeo a few times, and when you file in state court, often you're removed to federal court. And A, we didn't want that additional step that would delay the litigation. Second, we knew that what would happen, what we thought would happen, and that's all these cases would be collected before one federal judge in one state. And all the cases, as you know, are sitting in the Northern District of Ohio in Cleveland before Judge Polster. Funny side story, I went to law school in Cleveland, so I know a lot of the lawyers there. And the third reason we did it was because we wanted to make sure we had federal subpoena power and we could get some of the data that we need. I'm going to wrap up because I want to be respectful of everybody's time, but in that big action there are 22 leadership seats, and our team holds 5 of the 22 leadership seats. And what we're looking for, and you're going to hear, is a real remedy for the counties and cities. And by filing nuisance claims, we're saying you've created a nuisance and you need to pay to fix it, whether if that's with money for law enforcement, money for education, money that goes directly to counties and cities for services that are needed for the future. Our fee is a 25% fee to all the counties and cities that we represent, which was a reduction from the 30% we began with, but felt that the national group and the local group represent over 200 cities and counties across the country. And we felt that with that leverage, we could reduce the attorney's fees. So I really want to thank everyone for your time. If it's all right if I approach to give you a booklet.
Yes, please.
Okay. And I think we're both very happy to answer any questions that you may have.
If I may briefly, while she's passing those out, obviously that fee is paid only if we win, and so we front all the expenses, we take all the risk, and the only way the law firms involved ever see a cent is to win for Elmore County and the rest of our clients. So it's a totally contingent basis. It will, in other words, if everything goes to pot, we're not able to succeed, we will never send you guys a bill for any work we've ever done or any expenses.
Thank you for being here. We appreciate you and your efforts to address the opioid problems. We, as a county, obviously are very concerned about the trends that we observe nationally that seem to be trickling down into our state and then into the local level. And I'm sure that in the coming weeks we'll continue to discuss this as a county commission and with our legal counsel to determine what next steps we'll proceed with.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
All right. We'll proceed, discuss resolution dated March 26, 2018 in support of Trainer Jet program in Macon County. For your information, fellow commissioners and the public, I was contacted by Chairman Maxwell of the Macon County Commission. Macon County is one of the proposed sites for the T-100 Trainer Jet program. We're all familiar with the recent success of Montgomery and Maxwell Air Force Base getting the fighter jets there, and Macon County is being considered for the upgrade from the T-38 to the T-100 training program. And he contacted me asking if we would adopt a resolution expressing our support as a neighboring county so that they could use that in their proposal. And I felt that it would be something that we should be happy to do in supporting our neighboring county in a potential economic development opportunity and a big step for them, a feather in their cap for something going forward. Are there any comments or questions regarding that? And there's no commitment of anything on our part other than our voicing our support for Macon County. All right, we'll proceed. Consider a 240 nonprofit tax-exempt liquor license application from Alabama Wildlife Federation, Inc. for Alabama Wildlife Federation Wild Game Cook-Off at Lake Martin Amphitheater, 8878 Kalijah Road, Eclectic, Alabama 36024, for event on May 12, 2018. Many of you are familiar, this is an annual event. We authorized this one-day tax-exempt liquor license application last year for this same event. Any comments or questions?
Mr. Chairman, this has become a very popular event, as you just mentioned, over the years. It's a family-friendly event. The Alabama Wildlife Federation hires off-duty deputy sheriffs. There's never been a problem there that I'm aware of. So it's a very good event for Elmore County.
All right, thank you. Anything else? All right, we'll proceed. Consider authorizing Chief Engineer Operations Officer to execute contract with Stephen Ward and Associates, Inc. for design services for budgeted roofing projects. Mr. Byer.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, we had in the budget replacement funds for the roof on the existing part of the courthouse and repairs to the jail. They total about $230,000 in estimates. The contract before you is from the same company that did the initial assessment on the roofs to give us an analysis of what kind of work needs to be done. They take that, and that comes off their additional design fee and their construction management. So this is all turnkey. So they do everything up through the bid process. The bids will come back to y'all. Y'all award them, and then they will walk us through the construction process. And we had a very good success with the same company at the judicial complex a few years ago, and solved a problem that the county had been riddled with for basically the entire time that building had been in service. So this is a very well-respected company, and I think this fee represents about 9% of what the estimated construction costs are. It's hard to find somebody that can design it and manage it for that amount. So do y'all have any questions of me about this project and the contract?
What is the time frame on the project pending approval of this?
We will we'll have at least a month to get through the process, to get through the bids, and then come back to you at the first meeting to award it, and then we can get started. Usually it's about a month after y'all award the bids before we finish pre-construction and conference and all the contracts being executed, that kind of stuff. So we're probably talking first part of the summer.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments, questions? All right, thank you for that information. All right, proceeding, discuss Wetumpka Chamber of Commerce request for use of courthouse grounds for the Wetumpka Community Expo on May 5, 2018. I can share, there's a letter from the Wetumpka Area Chamber of Commerce in our packets regarding an event on May the 5th. This is a community-wide event. It's the inaugural Community Expo. They're inviting vendors similar to many other events that we have in the city of Wetumpka, like Christmas on the Coosa and other events where they utilize common space across the downtown area for vendors and for music, kids activities, things like that. And they have asked for access to, well, some of the roads will be, the city roads will be closed in this immediate area, just in front of the courthouse, but they've asked for access to the landing area out front with the steps so that they can use that for a concert area. I think the concert's going to be on the street, and they would like for the community to be able to be in the front of the courthouse to view the concert. Any comments or questions there? All right, thank you. We'll proceed now. Consider approving Sheriff's Department vehicle surplus and authorized sale through Stubbs Auctioneers. Mr. Byer.
The Sheriff's Department has requested the attached list of surplus vehicles just to be surplus, and then they would like to utilize Stubbs Auctioneers, a local company, to execute the sale of those vehicles.
And for the record, I'm not an auctioneer. This has nothing to do with me. Any questions there?
I got one question.
Yes, sir.
Do we have any other surplus merchandise that they're going to auction, like from the highway department or anywhere else?
No, sir. It's just going to be the sheriff's vehicles right now.
Okay, and that's just coming Saturday?
That's correct.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. All right, proceed with consent docket. We have the travel memo. Comments there? All right, we'll proceed. Personnel notifications. Notification of transfer of Beverly Martin, probate clerk, to revenue assessment clerk. Replace G. Shaw, effective 3/19/18. Notification of hire of Jessica Smith, recording clerk. Replace B. Martin, effective 4/2/18. Notification of resignation of Tina Turner, Mapper 1, effective 3/14/18. Notification of promotion of Tanya Hand, GIS Tech, to Mapper 1, replace T. Turner, effective 4/2/18. Notification of resignation of Donna Blake, dispatcher, effective 3/9/18. Notification of hire of Finola Morgan, dispatcher, replace D. Blake, effective 3/18/18. Notification of resignation of April Dearly, dispatcher, Wetumpka, effective 3/23/18. Notification of termination of Trenton Thompson, mechanic 1, effective 3/14/18. Notification of retirement of Judy Shaw, licensed clerk, effective 5/1/18. Notification of transfer of Jordan Denny to DEA investigator, effective 10/1/17. Reports to the commission. Mr. Byer.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, I don't have but one item in front of you. You've got the tentative schedule for County Government Day. Ms. Erb has been working hard on getting this set up. You'll see not only the schedule, but also a copy of the layout of vendors. The theme of this year is serving the underserved, and if several of you attended the NACO Ledge Conference, and you heard President Brooks talk about that many times. So we've got a couple special guests that'll be with us that day. One will be the YMCA's Brown Bag Bus, a community mission project to feed the community, impoverished communities of our county, and then also we will have the food pantry. They're two of our special guests that are a little bit different. We're going to have a little different setup this time in terms of how the groups run through. We've set a little more time aside for the YMCA presentation and the Sheriff's Department. Those tend to need a little bit more time, so you'll see a little difference there. But if you see anything on there that needs adjustment, if you'll let me or Kim know, and then anybody that you'd like to see that may need to exhibit in the building, if you'll let us know as well. We've tried to reach out to everybody that we can think of, and then there's been several that have come up that fit the theme that we have tried to reach out to. And again, Kim has done a wonderful job getting that taken care of. The other item you'll have is something we're going to try with the students this year as a give out, just to kind of promote county government in general, with April being that. Little thing go on the back of your cell phone, y'all have one. If you don't want to use it, give it to somebody. It's got a little different logo that we're just testing out to see what kind of reaction we get from people. But we bought a handful of those and trying those out, and we had a local vendor that was able to be utilized to do that as well. So, Mr. Chairman, that's all I have in the way of report tonight. Y'all have any questions for me?
Thank you. All right, we'll proceed with reports to the commission. We'll begin with Commissioner Holt.
I wanted to say I appreciate the ones of you that are here being here, and I wanted to say too, in relation to you guys with the opioids, because we talked a few minutes earlier. Unfortunately, we're at the top as far as the misuse of opioids, correct? We're in the top 5 out of 50 states, so that's not good. So I'm all for doing whatever we got to do to get that problem under control. So we appreciate you being here.
Thank you. Commissioner Daughtry.
I don't have anything at this time, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Commissioner Mercer.
Thank you, Chairman. I'd like to remind everybody of a fishing tournament that's taking place at the city of Millbrook and the Chamber. It will be sponsoring this weekend. There's a $5,500 guaranteed payout. If you have any questions about that, you can contact the Chamber and Millbrook. And in my serving as representative to the ACCA for the Legislative Committee, I can report that the legislative session will be over this week. There's still 3 items that are very important to the counties that are being addressed. One is going to be the simplified seller's use tax, which, if revised, will more ensure the online retailers the ability to continue to pay their flat rate in sales tax of the state, which is distributed throughout the state to the counties and the local governments. Another one that's important to the counties is going to be one related to the reclassification of RSA employees, or rather county employees that are participating in the RSA program, that will ultimately result in saving the county some money on their retirement expenses. And then the third one will be legislation in streamlining the auctioning process for properties that have a tax lien on them at the county level. Again, those 3 things should be addressed this week, and the legislature will adjourn by the end of the week. Chairman, that's all I have.
Thank you. Commissioner Reeves?
Just want to say good evening to everyone. I don't have anything.
Thank you. I'd like to just remind everyone, I know it's on our calendar, but Operation Spring Clean is taking place on April the 14th. This is an opportunity for us to get out and clean up the community, work on the litter problems and other issues that we have across the county. We're hoping to continue to get that word out, spread the word. Also want to make everyone aware of, on that same date, April the 14th, in the afternoon, I think it's from 1 to 4, there will be a primer party. Some of you have seen the mural that has gone up here in downtown Wetumpka. There will be another mural that will be put on the wall behind the First National Bank building, so that alleyway. There's been a lot of time and effort put in a mural that will be a timeline of the history of Wetumpka. So it will go through all of the important dates and events in the history of Wetumpka. It will cover that entire wall. There's a company called Blank Space Birmingham who does a lot of murals across the state of Alabama. They'll be coming down for the whole week and doing that, but to get community participation, they're having a primer party. So anybody can come out and help prime the wall. They'll have all the materials, so kids can come out, anybody that wants to come out and prime the wall and be a part of that event. So that will take place on that afternoon, April the 14th. I don't have anything else. Ms. Kim, for calendar dates.
Our next commission meeting will be Monday, April 9th at 5 o'clock with the business meeting following. As the chairman mentioned, Operation Spring Clean will be on April 14th. We also have a countywide cleanup that day from 9 to 1 at the locations mentioned, noting that Cusada Post Office is a rotating location. That Saturday also from 10 to 1 is the Elmore County Preparedness Fair at Tallahassee City's football stadium. And then the next meeting after that will be Thursday, April 19th during County Government Day. The meeting will be at 9:30 and County Government Day will be from 9 until 1:30.
All right. Thank you. We'll reconvene in a few minutes. All right. I'd like to welcome everybody back. And then there was one. You're it. All right. Welcome everybody back to the business meeting dated Monday, March 26, 2018. I'd like to call this meeting to order. We'll begin with an invocation offered by Commissioner Mercer, following which Commissioner Daughtry will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's pray. Father, we thank you for letting us come here tonight, Lord. We thank you for giving us the ability and the desire to serve the citizens in Elmore County. We ask that you lead and guide our directions, Father. We ask you continue your blessings on our efforts and our county, Father. We love you. We thank you for what you do for us. I ask these things in your name. Amen.
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 All right, Ms. Kim, would you call roll?
Commissioner Holt? Here. Commissioner Daughtry?
Here.
Chairman Stubbs?
Here.
Commissioner Mercer?
Here.
Commissioner Reed?
Here.
All right, we'll proceed with regular business. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the March 12, 2018 Commission meeting as presented during the work session?
Motion to approve.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Holt? Yes. Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Reed?
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve the memorandum of warrants for the period of March 7, 2018 through March 16, 2018?
Second.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Holt?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Reed?
Yes.
Proceeding with old business, is there a motion to approve a 011 lounge retail liquor Class 2 package liquor license application by Convenience Acquisitions, Inc. for Kent Liquors, 3400 Kent Road, Tallahassee, Alabama, 36078?
Motion approved.
Second.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Holt?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Reed?
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve a 050 retail beer off-premises only and a 070 retail table wine off-premises only liquor license transfer application for ADN1 Inc. to SAI Path Inc. for Titus Gas and Grocery, 17047 U.S. Highway 231, Titus, Alabama, 36080?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Holt?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Reed?
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve Siscon Preservation Project as presented by Judge Ensland, project cost not to exceed $51,000 from Fund 722?
I'll make a motion to do that.
Second.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Holt?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Reed?
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve Resolution 326, 2018 in support of Trainer Jet program in Macon County?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Holt?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Reeves?
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve a 240 nonprofit tax-exempt liquor license application from Alabama Wildlife Federation, Inc. for Alabama Wildlife Federation Wild Game Cook-Off at Lake Martin Amphitheater, 8878 Kalijah Road, Eclectic, Alabama 36024, for event on May 12, 2018?
I make that motion.
Second.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Holt?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Reeves?
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve authorizing Chief Engineer and Operations Officer to execute contract with Stephen Ward and Associates, Inc. for design services for budgeted roofing projects?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Holt?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Reeves?
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve Wetumpka Chamber of Commerce request for use of courthouse grounds for the Wetumpka Community Expo on May 5, 2018, and authorize chairman to execute license agreement for use of courthouse grounds?
Motion approved.
Second.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Holt?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Reeves?
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve approving Sheriff's Department vehicle surplus and authorized sale through Stubbs Auctioneers?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Holt?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Reeves?
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve the consent docket as reads?
Motion approved.
Second.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Holt?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Reeves?
Yes.
Personnel notifications. Notification of transfer of Beverly Martin, probate clerk, to revenue assessment clerk. Replace G. Shaw, effective 3/19/18. Notification of hire of Jessica Smith, recording clerk. Replace B. Martin, effective 4/2/18. Notification of resignation of Tina Turner, mapper 1, effective 3/14/18. Notification of promotion of Tanya Hand, GIS Tech, to mapper 1. Replace T. Turner, effective 4/2/18. Notification of resignation of Donna Blake, dispatcher, effective 3/9/18. Notification of hire of Finola Morgan, dispatcher, replace D. Blake, effective 3/18/18. Notification of resignation of April Dierle, dispatcher, Wetumpka, effective 3/23/18. Notification of termination of Trenton Thompson, mechanic 1, effective 3/14/18. Notification of retirement of Judy Shaw, licensed clerk, effective 5/1/18. Notification of transfer of Jordan Denny to DEA investigator, effective 10/1/17. Reports to the commission. Anything additional, Mr. Byer? Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion adjourned.
Second.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Holt?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Reeves?
Meeting
Yes.
adjourned.
Yes.